Today on the newscast, two of Israel's greatest enemies joining forces. Plus, Iran holding a major military drill and making new threats. Get all the breaking details next. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. We start off this Christmas week with an update and some good news. Israeli security forces have captured the terrorists behind last Thursday's deadly shooting attack that killed a Jewish seminary student and wounded two others in the Israeli settlement of Homesh. We broke down this incident and the recent wave of Palestinian terror attacks in Jerusalem in particular on our Friday, December 17th newscast. You can check that out here in our archives. And while you're here, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you get a heads up every time we post one of our breaking news updates here on the Watchman YouTube channel. Now, several suspects in last Thursday's attack were apprehended near Jenin over the weekend, and they are reportedly members of Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the Iran-backed terror group. And folks, the timing seems to be no coincidence. Yesterday, December 19th, the Jerusalem Post reported that Palestinian Islamic Jihad and Hamas, its fellow Iran-backed terror outfit, have reached an agreement to step up their attacks against Israel, especially in Jerusalem and the West Bank, which we call the biblical heartland of Judea and Samaria. When we think of Hamas and Islamic Jihad, I know we usually think first and foremost of Gaza, which Hamas rules with an iron fist and where both groups have stockpiled thousands of rockets and base their major operations. But remember, they also have a strong presence in the West Bank. Now, according to the Jerusalem Post, this deal was reached during meetings between leaders of Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Lebanon and Gaza in recent days. They vowed to increase attacks against Israel, but also to increase coordination between their military wings, Hamas's Al-Qassam brigades and Islamic Jihad's Al-Quds brigades. The deal is seen as a way to not only target Israel, but to weaken and destabilize the Palestinian Authority of Mahmoud Abbas as these Iran-backed groups position themselves as the true champions of the Palestinian cause. But Abbas is no moderate and no partner for peace. Far from it. Remember, as we told you on our December 17th newscast, his Palestinian Authority continues to pay lifetime salaries to the families of terrorists who murder Israelis and Americans like U.S. Army veteran Taylor Force. One last point on this unholy alliance between Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. They're not wasting any time. Last week, of course, we saw the Palestinian Islamic Jihad attack, and we also had a major Hamas military exercise in Gaza in which Hamas terrorists reportedly simulated the destruction of an Israeli military post and the capture of IDF soldiers. Folks, I will be very surprised if 2022 doesn't see more flare-ups out of Gaza, and a major reason for that will be Iran. Again, Hamas and Islamic Jihad are Iranian proxies, funded, armed, and in some cases trained by the Iranian regime. And by the way, Iran is doing some training of its own this week. According to Iranian state TV, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps is holding a 5-day military drill in the southern part of the country. The drill will involve the IRGC's aerospace division plus ground and naval forces, and you can bet that Iran's attack drone arsenal will also be featured. As part of the drill, Iran's naval forces reportedly will maneuver in the Strait of Hormuz, that strategic waterway where some 20% of the world's traded oil supply passes through each day. The Iranian regime has made a lot of noise over the years about blockading the Strait of Hormuz in the event of a regional war. And with nuclear talks in Vienna pretty much collapsing, we're moving closer to the possibility of Israel taking action against Iran's nuclear weapons installations. Iranian officials hear the statements coming out of Jerusalem practically every day now, and on one hand, They seem to think Israeli leaders are bluffing, but on the other hand, they keep issuing warnings about what they will do in response. An Iranian Revolutionary Guards general named Gholam Ali Rashid said over the weekend that if Israel strikes Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran will launch, quote, a crushing attack on all bases, centers, paths, and space used to carry out the aggression without delay. So there's the threats from the regime. And of course, last week we saw an official Iranian newspaper publish a map of Israel that included a detailed target list of sites Iran says it would strike if Israel attacks. But on the other hand, there's the bluster and overconfidence. In that same interview over the weekend, General Rashid said Israel wouldn't dare strike Iran's nuclear program without a green light from the U.S. And Iran, needless to say, is confident that Israel will not receive that green light from the Biden administration. We all know that green light probably won't come, so Iran's leaders may be feeling pretty secure right now. Big mistake, because no matter what the U.S. says, there is no way that Israel will ever allow Iran to acquire the very weapons that could lead to Israel's destruction. If Israel feels the need to act militarily against Iran's nuclear program, it will do it, with or without U.S. approval. Folks, fasten your seatbelts and stay in prayer, because 2022 is shaping up to be a very interesting year in the world's most chaotic and strategic region, the Middle East. Things are coming to a head. Hey, before we go, 2 quick notes. First, be sure to join us this Wednesday, December 22nd, for a Watchman Newscast live stream here on the channel between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And be sure to bring your questions for our Q&A session. We've got a lot to discuss, and we'll be going live for a full hour. Also, we've got just a few days left until Christmas Day, and I know everyone is doing some last-minute shopping right now, so may I suggest an Artza Box subscription. With all these COVID travel restrictions, it's getting harder and harder to visit the Holy Land, so why not bring a piece of the Holy Land to your doorstep this Christmas with an Artza Box? It's the perfect gift for the Israel lover and Bible believer in your life. Artza is a unique quarterly subscription box that features amazing products from a different city or region from Israel, all made in Israel by Israeli small businesses. They are now featuring a special Christmas box with 8 incredible products from Bethlehem, Nazareth, Jerusalem, and Galilee. Hey, Christmas is here, and an Artza subscription is a great gift for anyone in your life who loves God's land and wants to fulfill the biblical mandate to bless Israel through supporting Israeli small businesses. Just go to artzabox.com and use the discount code WATCHMAN18 to get 18% off your Artza Box subscription. It's a good deal and a great product that we believe in, and we hope you enjoy it. Hey, thanks for joining us here today on the Watchman Newscast. Until next time, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new Watchman Newscast episodes every weekday.